Good morning. Hey, sweetie fam. Welcome back. I am Forever Patron Denise, produced by Zenny Productions. Your favorite plus size stylist is back with another video. If you haven't been here before, go down to the subscribe button and click the bell so you can be notified. I do drop a video every Tuesday and Thursday at 4 p.m. Now, on this channel, I create family, fashion, and lifestyle content because this is the place to be for all of that, and that's on period. I literally only have about 12 minutes. I don't even have, see, 10. Yeah, I have about 15 minutes that I can record this video. I actually already recorded before, so we're just gonna get right to it. Y'all know I have 3 kids, and I do this mama thing. Like, I'm not new to this. I am true to this, and that's period. Before I start on my story, I am getting ready to go speak to some high school students about social media etiquette, you know, building a brand, entrepreneurship, all those things today. And honestly, this is something I have been wanting to do in my own, well, the community that I grew up in. However, look at that. I do not live in the community I grew up in, and you know, who knows where God will take me, but as of right now, that's not an option. I'm going to speak to another community that's similar to mine about this particular thing. Yeah, that's why you see me getting ready. And so that's why I say I only have, well, I have more time than that. However, I still got to get dressed, even though my clothes are already out. But y'all know how stuff sometimes don't always fit or look the way you want it to, so yeah. So we're gonna make this quick. I don't do a whole bunch to the face anyway. Y'all know the face already gives without the makeup or the little, you know, accents that I call it. My oldest daughter, who is gifted, y'all know I talk about big dog all the time, and I know I have the paper right here, but when I say gifted, I don't mean that, you know, everybody think their kid's smart, which everybody does. Every parent does think their kid is smart, but I mean test score wise, like, she's gifted. On standardized test scores, baby girl does her thing. She's been gifted since as far back as I can remember. Education has just kind of come easy to her. She's understood the rules and so on and so forth. So this year she's in the fourth grade. And if y'all don't see me looking at the camera, my vanity is right behind the camera. So that's what I'm looking in, okay? Just so you know. This year, my oldest daughter is in the 4th grade. Y'all know Big Sydney does her thing, and I call her Big Sydney because I want her to know that she continue to know that she is pressure. Okay. Also, I want to say the disclaimer: I am not a makeup artist. I do just enough makeup for myself to make myself look even better. Sydney has been going to the same school she's been currently going to since the 1st grade, since the pandemic. Y'all know we moved back here in 2020, and this school actually is my husband's school, the school he went to, except they tore the school he went to down and rebuilt it in that same spot. We had our first incident of not liking the black girl mat, like someone who is of this palm colored, purposely picking on my, I'm not gonna say purposely, intentionally picking on my daughter because she is gifted, and wanted to single her out, like went out her way to single her out as the child, like a student who was not gifted and a student who, how can I say that, a student who pretty much had behavior issues. Sydney has never had a bad report, and I just don't mean educationally, because there are definitely some kids who are super smart, but they still just want to do what they want to do. Like, that's that on that. There's nothing you can do about that. Definitely so. Okay? Definitely so. However, Sydney is not that kid. She's going to follow the rules every single time. She's going to do what she's supposed to do every single time. Now, has she broken rules? Yes. That's what kids do. Not in a way where, first of all, not at school. I'm just going to be honest with you. When she at school, she's giving Michelle Obama. When she at home, baby, it's giving Krishan. Okay? I'm just playing. Am I? At home, she's able to let loose. That's so much like my husband. There was an incident where I picked up my daughter from school, and which they knew that I was picking her up. So it was a change to their current transportation. So I changed where I was picking them up, and she didn't come out. Okay, by the time she did come out, she was crying. Okay, and like I said, Sydney is poised, so that's not her thing. And I was just like, yeah, what's really going on? So she informed me that the teacher told her she was in trouble because no one came to get her for the walkers. There's a particular teacher that comes to get them for the, who are walkers. She was a walker this day because I picked them up, but normally she's a bus rider. And at that moment, I had immediately got upset because Sydney is an exemplary student in every aspect of student. I get a lot of calls about how amazing she is, and they wish more students. I get calls all the time, like every year, every class she's ever been in, just how amazing she is, right? So I expect nothing less, just being honest with you. Baby, I was heated because first and foremost, Sydney is an exemplary student. And at this time, we're going into like week 3. No, end of the week 3 of school, have went back and going into week 4. Okay? So, because this was a Thursday. I didn't say anything because I was upset. So I didn't have her email because she's had the same principal for like the last few years. So with that being said, I sent the email to the teacher. I told the teacher to contact me, through the email or call me on the phone so we can set up a time to talk. Instead of her calling me, instead of her sending an email back, she called me. And I was actually with the client who had booked me to shoot her wedding. So, I was not happy about that. I asked you to send me an email or call me about setting up a time. We're not finna have no conversations. In the midst of us talking that day, the few minutes we did talk, she told me that Sydney had been missing recess. And I was like, what? Sydney hasn't told me she missed no recess. And so I was like, okay. I'm actually with a client right now. So she never sent me the email. She said she was going to send me an email about everything that had been happening, pretty much Sydney's behavior. And she never did. And this was Labor Day weekend, so the kids didn't have school on Monday. So Tuesday came, I still had not gotten an email. At this point, I just want to make sure Sydney is safe emotionally going into the classroom. So I chose to get the kids ready. And then y'all know I'm a bus stop daddy. So I caught the bus to the school before my kids even got there. When I caught the bus to the school, I go in there and let them know, hey, this is a situation. And yeah, I need to talk to somebody. Period. Point blank to the period. Like that's it. So they asked me to have an appointment. I said no. At the same time, God is good. The principal comes out, and I'm walking to take a seat, and we kind of just catch eye contact, and then we introduce ourselves, which we've met before, but she meet a lot of people. So do I. Is what it is. And I began to tell her kind of the situation, like if she had a few minutes to talk. We did. We actually got to sit down, have a conversation, and I told her the situation. Per the contract, she has to reach out to the teacher, and you have to give me 24 hours for her to connect with me, the teacher to connect with me, so we can set up a meeting. I said, perfect, no problem. Okay? By the end of that day, the teacher sent me the information. Okay? We, at that point, now we are set up a meeting for the next day. The next day's here. We at the meeting. This lady is telling me at this meeting, y'all, that my daughter is pretty much a hellion. She is creating chaos in the classroom. Or she's a part of the chaos in the classroom. She slides over her test scores because they just did the beginning of year standardized math testing. And she slides over her test scores, which she got the highest test scores in the class, as she should, and tells me, oh, I didn't know she was this smart. Because, I thought she couldn't read like a lot of the kids in the class. If I'm being punked, is this what? If y'all ain't seen that show, you too young to be on my YouTube, but Ashton Kutcher, where you at? Like, what? So So I'm like, she was like, I didn't realize she was this smart and yeah. Baby, I am flabbergasted. Like, nigga, what? Excuse my language. What? So I'm like, oh, okay. It's simple. You don't look up your children, your class, like, especially if they've been there. Like, come on. You don't look up the test scores, because we talking about these test scores have been high since first grade, because they wasn't there. My daughter wasn't in kindergarten. Okay? So I'm like, you stop. In my mind, I'm like, stop playing with me. Please stop playing with me. So I tell the teacher begins to tell me all these different things that Sydney is doing and so on and so forth. And I, explain to her, like, why would you wait so long for us to have a conversation? Because which kids do stuff. I ain't even, here's the thing. I'm that parent to be like, kids do stuff. They definitely do stuff. So if my daughter is doing something, let me know so then we can address this now. Let's address this now. Why wait till almost a month into school, right? Y'all, I'm looking at the time. Right? A month into school is going. Let me help you help this child. Maybe help to get to know this child. Bridge the disconnect. So then we won't have these issues. Okay? I said, so, if she's doing all these things, which she began to tell me Sydney missed recess. She couldn't tell me when or what was the scenario. I asked Sydney about it. Sydney was like, I've never missed recess. But then Sydney begins to tell me all the other kids that missed recess. Now, also in this meeting was the dean of students. And so I'm thinking to myself, if my daughter can tell me who missed recess, but you cannot tell me who missed recess, that's a problem for me. That's a problem for me. That means that some of the stuff that you're saying isn't true. That's what that means. Because, especially if you brought this to me, if this was just kind of like, oh, it's not a big deal. No, that was the first thing you said on the call when you first called me when I was with my client. Oh, she missed recess and all these things. So ultimately, I tell the teacher, some of the stuff that you're saying could scream Sydney. Could be Sydney. Meaning that, hey, it could be Sydney. But a lot of the stuff that you're saying, nah. Oop, wrong thing. So I turn to Sydney, who is so mad. She's crying just like her mama. When mama get mad, she start to cry because at this time, we're going to start shaking the tables because I'm so mad that I can't really express myself. Because I'm a child, and I know that. And I know I have to give you respect. I.e. the way we raise our child. She know. So she's mad. She's actually crying. She's so upset. So I turn to Sydney, and I tell her, you know the expectation of our home. You know what you're supposed to do. So we continue to be good on purpose, intentional about our reputation and what that looks like. Because we are good on purpose. So, make sure you stay in your seat, you raise your hand, you follow the rules. You know what needs to be done. And Sydney's like, yes, I do. Now, she's still really upset, okay? Still really upset. Still very much upset. And then I tell her, I said, at any time, in your gut, our gut tells us when something is good and when something isn't. At any time, when our gut tells us something ain't right, you let mama know, mama handle it. At this time, teacher was like, yeah, if something is where you can let me know. I said, no, mama gonna handle it. Mama gonna handle it. Because I got your back. I said, good, bad, ugly, right or wrong, I got your back. Do you understand? She's like, yes. So I said this in front of the teacher. I said this in front of also the dean of students. I said, some of the stuff definitely sounds like could be Sydney. I said, but a lot of the stuff does not. I said, there's definitely a disconnect. I said, however, the way you talk to your children, the student body, because of the way you talking to me in front of my own child, makes you think that's why there's chaos and there's no structure in the classroom. So what you're not going to do is blame what's going on in the classroom on my child, when it ain't true, and you know that. You just want to group up with the other black kids. And I'm looking at the names on the tables, because they don't have desks, they got tables. These are some of the same kids that's been in Sydney's class for forever. Since the first grade. Now, first grade was COVID. Second grade is when, they got to go back in the classroom. And I'm not fan that going in the classroom with the stuff. Like, I like to come and visit, come to the parties, all that. Baby, I done seen all these kids WWE some stuff. So you telling me my daughter is nah, you lying. I think this the wrong color. I'm pretty sure it is. It's alright. I don't really like it, but I'm gonna go with it. So that's the whole thing. With that being said, I left out there and I told my daughter, I said, that teacher does not like you. She was like, Mom, don't say that. I said, I'm just being honest with you. I've told you before, as a beautiful black girl who's smart, intelligent, that come to school looking nice, smelling good, clean, and all that, you're going to come in contact, even though you are the exemplary student, you want to come in contact people who doesn't like you because you have those things. And this teacher does that. I said there was a lot of things that was said, that she said, and I'm pretty sure she says to her students that is not appropriate. And I said I don't feel comfortable. My daughter is now hating to come to school. Yes, y'all, I'm taking off my shirt. And when she's always loved school because of this particular teacher. And I said, I can't have that. I said, I can't have that. She's not sleeping at night because she doesn't know if she's going to get in trouble or what she is or isn't doing, which was true. So I went in there to advocate for my daughter because I needed her out that classroom. So why my daughter got out that classroom? Monday, principal excused her from school, and Tuesday she was in her new class. Advocate for your children. Be in a place where you can speak up for your child, because that's what I'm going to do every single time. If my daughter was wrong, y'all, I would have went in there. If my daughter's wrong, I would have went in there so apologetic. And how can I help you vibes? What could I do to help you in the classroom as the teacher to then support my child? Because I've had a child who had some behavior issues, younger, my son. And, I went in on a realm of how can I help you? But I also had my guard up. I started to have my guard up because teachers would purposely, intentionally, put that child in situations where, where they would be unliked because they had a disability. Now you purposely picking on my boy and he ain't did nothing to you. I don't like that. I do not like that. So I went in head first. My daughter got her class changed. And I didn't even know, she didn't even know she was gonna get her class changed. And I went in to have this conversation with the principal. I had no idea what was gonna happen. I literally gave it to God, like, God, you gotta do your thing. Because, I don't know. God came through in the clutch. My daughter was able to go into a new class. And she has been happy ever since. I promise you. Y'all, I am going to get on out of here. Advocate for your kids. Be there for your children. Let them know that you got their back. Okay? At every chance you can get. Because it's hard not only being black, baby. It's hard. Hard. And I mean that. And that's on period. Y'all, I'm Patra.pearson, Denise. Don't forget to be good on purpose. Smooches.